Welcome everybody to All About Articulation, where we do a deeper dive into the articulation of some of your favorite action figures while glossing over things like sculpt, paint apps, accessories, character history, because I suck at that, and there are already so many great reviews on YouTube who do that already, and I don't want to waste your time, and time is a terrible thing to waste. We have here the NECA San Diego Comic-Con 2019 exclusive DC vs. Darkhorse 2-pack. One 2-pack is the Superman vs. Alien. The other 2-pack is the Batman vs. Predator. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make 4 individual separate videos, each video reviewing a separate figure, so you don't have to be forced to sit there through a 45-minute to an hour video that you don't want to watch just to get to the figure that you want to see. So if you just go to my channel and just, click on the video that you want to see individually, they're all going to be there. And enjoy. This particular video is just going to be about Superman. So my quick thoughts off the top. Is this the quintessential 6-inch/7-inch Superman figure? Everybody was anticipating this to be the one. The preview pictures that we all saw, that I saw, it looked amazing, it looked magnificent. Some people were maybe hemming and hawing about the articulation. Of course, this channel is all about articulation, so we're going to jump right into the articulation aspect of it. But before I do that, you know what? I'll give you my final verdict at the end of this video. Is it the quintessential Superman figure? So right off the bat, what are we looking at here? It's Superman, It's a classic comic book looking Superman, cloth cape, so you don't have to worry about that type of articulation, or a plastic cape hindering articulation, I should say. It's very soft, very smooth, and it goes down to just above, maybe half an inch above the ground, or the table when he's standing flat-footed in a vanilla pose. So, take that as you will. If you wanted to spread it out, it goes about this far out. There is no wire or any sort of hard material inside of it to keep it in a static position, so it's always going to flow. But the cool thing about it is, I guess, is that you have a little bit of like a fan action. If I had a desk fan, you would see it. It would just kind of sort of waft in the wind, gently, gone with the wind, and that's pretty cool. I kind of like it. Would it have been better with some bendy wire? Yeah, sure, but I can live without it. The articulation is, like I always say, I love articulation, but I like character-specific articulation, contextual articulation. The example I would use, I don't need my Hulk figure to have the articulation of a Spider-Man. I don't need my Predator, for example, to have the articulation of a Batman, Batman is like a martial arts trained kind of ninja type dude. He's going to have more articulation than, say, the Predator. I get that. So what type of articulation does Superman have? Well, he's a Superman. He's not a trained fighter. He's not a ninja. He's not an MMA guy per se. He's just a very strong, solid looking dude, kind of like Thor, if you want to, bring a Marvel character into the analogy. The body, I should bring out a ruler just to measure and show you guys just how tall he is off the bat. So in a vanilla pose, and he can get into a very vanilla pose, as you can see here, feet together, flat on the floor, arms down, elbows straight. He can, just about touch his thighs, which is really cool. Get into a side pose. He is from toe to top of the head. I would say definitely over 7 inches, not quite 7 1/4. So what is between 7 1/4 and 7? 7.12? 7 1/10? We'll say that. And it's right there too. 7 1/10, I would say. So he's definitely a 1/10 scale 7-inch figure. For those of you who are familiar with the Hasbro Marvel Legends line of action figures, the body type is very, very similar to the Bucky cap mold. If I have a Bucky cap, you know what? I have a Bucky cap right here. I'm going to bring him down. This is Guardian from the new Wendigo build a figure. He's 6-inch scale figure, so the scale is not right. But if you're familiar with Marvel Legends Bucky Cat mold, as overused as it may be criticized, it's very similar in the sense that all the articulation points are almost identical. You do have a thigh swivel here, and it doesn't seem like it has a thigh swivel on Superman, but he does. You know, you can swivel his thigh, not all the way around. It only stops at about maybe a couple of degrees, maybe like a 30 to 45 degrees, but a swivel is there, and he does have boot cuff too. But I'm just getting ahead of myself. All right, back you go, Guardian. Let's do the articulation. Go from head down to toe. In a vanilla pose, Superman's head can only look up about that much, which was a problem for me because, as I said before, I like my flight figures, you know, people who can fly, characters who can fly, like an Iron Man, a Thor, a Superman, to be able to look up while he flew. So he can't look up that far, but I did modify his neck head peg hole to make more articulation, and I'll show you that at the end. But out of the box, and that's what I wanted to show you guys, is that this is as far as it goes. Just like that. He doesn't go much further than that. So going down, but he does look down this far, which is good. If you articulated his head to as far up as possible, it's only that much. But if you extended his back and did a back extension, then he can get more of a flight pose. So if you needed to cheat and you wanted to get Superman to be in a flight position while looking straight ahead at the same time horizontally, you would have to also incorporate the back extension into it and cheat a little bit. And in that sense, you could pull it off, as you can see here. All right. So that's the neck, right? We did the bottom, rather the extent of him looking down. You get to his shoulders. This is as far up as his shoulders can go. I don't want to. And also, just a word to the wise, NECA, I do like NECA, but I'm also going to be honest, the figures from NECA can be a little brittle. So whenever you buy a NECA figure, please be very careful. Do not fight the joints. If there's any stubborn joints that won't bend or won't articulate the way you feel it should articulate, put in some hot water. Use a blow dryer, a hair dryer, or a heating gun, which is just like a blow dryer on steroids. But definitely use some heat. Do not fight it. Do not force any articulation on NECA figures. They will snap and they will break. It's happened to this guy, and I'll show you that when I get to his review. And it's almost happened to him over here too, and it almost happened to him too. So yeah, do not fight it. Use hot water or use a blow dryer. Okay, so as you can see from his left shoulder, it's not going up as far as his right one, and I'm not gonna fight it. If I really wanted to maximize the movement, I will definitely put in some hot water or use my blow dryer. But just on camera right now, this is as far as it goes, and what I like to call the hot tub pose. If you've seen it in a hot tub, that's what it looks like. Of course, you can go around, blah blah blah. He's got the bicep swivel. You get that. Double jointed elbows, so he can go that far. It's very nice. It's about what do you call it? Yeah, I would say 45 degrees. So he definitely utilizes the double joint to its maximum potential. Because there's a lot of figures out there who have double jointed elbows but can barely get 90, which is like defeats the whole purpose, right? Anyway, so good arms, good shoulders. Don't fight it, don't snap. All right. Ab crunch. Ab crunch goes up down about that much. Not that much range. But again, he's Superman. He's not going to be doing a lot of pretzel positioning. He's not Spider-Man. He's Superman. So I can live with that. Everybody will have their own. Your mileage may vary. So this is vanilla, and this is him back extension. All right. So ab crunch, back extension. Okay. All right, and of course he has the waist swivel. His yellow belt is not floating, so it's stuck on to his red underwear. The red underwear, however, is made up of softer material. Everything else is of hard plastic. The only part that's soft is the crotch piece, which helps in the hip articulation, and he gets great hip articulation. That's one of the bright spots about NECA. They got great hip articulation. Look at that. You got Superman doing the split. I don't know why he would do a split, but if you wanted to make him do a split, he can do a split. He can kick up about this far up, which is very cool for Superman. I do not suggest you leave it in this position for too long because, like I said, the crotch piece, underwear piece is soft. So if you left it posed like this for too long, it's going to warp that. It's going to warp the plastic, the soft plastic over there. Same thing with this leg here. Double jointed knees, and you get great range of articulation. Look at that. Boom. It almost kicks butt. Almost. Close enough. But for Superman, that's great. So far, we got great articulation in the arms, the legs, the abs. I can live with. Coming down, he's got a boot swivel. It's hidden in the boot, so you might even miss it if you're not even looking for it, but it's there. You can swivel it all around if you wanted to. And he's got a great ankle pivot. Look at that. So you could do the split while both feet flat on the floor. The Glenn Webb split, as I like to call it, and that gets great. Look at that, huh? That's Superman for you. Okay, so he's got the ankle pivot. He could, when you swivel the ankle all the way up, it goes up that much, not too far up. But he does have a toe articulation, so that helps in his standing and his stationary poses. And his feet go that far down, which is really cool. So that definitely looks good when you're putting him in flight poses. All right. So that pretty much gets all of the joints out the way. Now, one thing is that he comes with two heads, so his head is easily removable. Well, it doesn't fall off. So let me be clear. It's a nice tight joint, neck peg. It's a double-sided double ball joint. One in the bottom base of the neck and one up top into the head. And I'm gonna pull it off and show you. So that's what it looks like. How? Now, out of the box, it doesn't get good the head doesn't get good up articulation. What I do a lot of times is I took a Dremel, and let me just show you right here. There it is. Let me get the light. I took a Dremel and I just cut out just a little bit of a space here, about the width of the peg. So the peg would slide right in. Let me just get that on camera. There you go. So originally, out of the box, the neck peg would go just about that far, right? And the head would be like that, and that's it. That's as far back as the head would go. But now with that, as I showed you before, now with that hole that I cut out, or half a hole, the peg can go all the way back, and as you can see now, how much further the peg goes. Just get the light in. All right, you see that? And now the head can go back this far. So it went from here to here. Now again, you might not notice a difference. It might not be a lot to you. Everybody's subjective opinion is, of course, their subjective opinion. It makes a big difference to me because now I can put him in these, flight poses, and he can at least look somewhat up as he's flying. And then if I were to also incorporate in the back extension, the ab crunch backward, make it the ab extension, he can really look sort of forward, which is kind of cool. So now I can definitely pose him in a Superman pose. See that? Much better. in my opinion. I'm gonna put a picture in right now, and you'll see the difference between what Superman looked like out of the box versus what he looks like now after I, you know, did that little modification to the neck. All right. So if you want to take a look at it, pause it, and you can study it as you know, as long as you want. All right. Now back to the video. Is this a quintessential Superman of a 6 or 17 scale? In my opinion, I would say yes, especially now after I've modified that that neck joint, or lack thereof. After I give it a little bit more neck articulation, I definitely think he's the guy to beat. As of right now, as of August 2019, I think this is the quintessential 6 to 7 inch Superman that you can buy. Is he available, you know, widespread on retail? No. Like I said, he's a Comic-Con exclusive. However, that's what they said last year about the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 1990 movie Turtles. They were only NECA San Diego Comic-Con exclusive, and then what happened was, a couple of months later, they released it in GameStop. But then they said that was it, because what happened was, I think Playmates or one of the competing manufacturers had held the license to the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, so NECA only had a limited license. But then something happened behind the scenes, and now then they got the GameStop re-release. But then after the GameStop, and right when they got released by GameStop, it was all sold out, and then everybody thought, oh well, that's it. And now I'm hearing that they're gonna re-release the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 1990 movie figures again on GameStop, and that's going to become widespread. And so whatever you do, what do you get? You can get it. However, there's the counterpoint to that is that NECA also doesn't have. NECA, I believe, has completely lost, not a limited license, but they just lost the DC license. It's now going over to, I believe, it's going to, what's that Canadian company? Some Canadian company bought the rights, Mattel lost it altogether, or something like that, and now DC doesn't hold the license to it. But who knows, you know? These licenses, they can renegotiate, so I would keep my eyes open. There might be a re-release. Target, of course, now has some sort of deal with NECA. Who knows? They might show up in a Target one day, or this might show up at on GameStop. You never know. So keep your eyes open. You might be able to get this sooner rather than later. All right? Okay. Peace out.